Imagine this. You're sitting at your desk, your phone lights up, another request, another obligation. You already feel exhausted, but you smile, nod, and say, "Sure, I'll help." How often do we betray our own needs to please others, to just keep the peace? There's an art to saying no, one that Swiss psychologist Carl Jung saw not as harsh refusal, but as a critical act of self-understanding and personal growth. Today, we're exploring the power of saying no, Jung's philosophy on boundaries and personal growth. Get comfortable. This isn't just another self-help catchphrase. This is a journey inward, to the very roots of who you are, the authentic self behind the persona, and the courage required to draw boundaries that nourish your life, your mind, your soul. Let's peel back the layers. It starts when we're children. Our earliest boundaries are physical. This is my toy, my room, my safe place. Then, as we grow, boundaries blur. Social conditioning, culture, family, they all teach us that a good person helps others, that sacrifice is noble, that saying yes is the way to belong. But what Jung recognized was that unchecked, constant yes brings not harmony, but chaos, a fracturing of the inner self. For Jung, boundaries are sacred. To craft a meaningful, autonomous life, we must first create what he likened to a mental temenos, a Greek word for a sacred enclosure, a space within our psyche where chaos is kept at bay and we can encounter ourselves honestly. This is how the work of individuation, the path to wholeness and authenticity, begins. Picture a mandala, the ancient symbol so loved by Jung. There's a center representing self and a circle around it, a boundary. Without that circle, the colors, the energies in the mandala would bleed out and lose all meaning. Your boundaries are that circle. Through them, you protect the sacred center of your being. But why is saying no so hard? For many, it's guilt, fear of disappointing, fear of missing out, anxiety that if you don't agree, you lose love or status or opportunity. The world teaches us to say yes, especially if you're empathetic, sensitive, or driven to prove yourself. But Jung observed that living without healthy boundaries means the world will ask you who you are. And if you don't know, the world will tell you. If you don't say no where you must, the world writes your story for you. There's a cost to chronic yes. It's exhaustion and resentment. Yes, but deeper still, it's psychic fragmentation. You become what everyone wants you to be and forget who you really are. This disconnection from your true self is at the heart of so much anxiety and unhappiness. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate, Jung warned. So, every no, uttered consciously, is a step back toward yourself, a reclaiming of your story. Let's make this practical. Jung's philosophy teaches that before you can say a true yes, before you can find real passion, connection, and joy, you must protect your space. Your no is the soil from which your authentic yes can grow. Saying no isn't shutting doors willy-nilly. It's about discernment. Imagine your life as a carefully tended garden. You pull weeds not because you hate their existence, but to give your chosen flowers room to bloom. In Jungian terms, this is essential for individuation, the process of harmonizing your conscious and unconscious mind and becoming your truest self. But in real life, what does individuation require? Jung recognized that our personalities wear many masks, what he called the persona, the roles we take on: parent, spouse, worker, friend. Some are chosen, many aren't. The task isn't to destroy the persona, society needs it, but to know the difference between mask and essence, and to ensure the mask doesn't take over. Boundaries are how we do this. They let us negotiate between outer demands and inner reality. You might say no to a friend's invitation, not out of disloyalty, but because your spirit needs quiet tonight. Or say no to a new responsibility at work, not because you lack ambition, but because your plate is full and you don't want to sacrifice your health. Every thoughtful no is an act of self-respect, a declaration that your needs, your time, your energy matter. Jung's wisdom goes further. He observed that what we deny or repress in ourselves finds a way to manifest anyway. It seeps out in anger, burnout, or, in Jung's terms, whenever the shadow emerges uncontrollably. The more boundaries you set, the less likely you are to be blindsided by these shadowy eruptions. Instead, you face them with awareness and control. This is why learning to say no is not about selfishness or isolation. It's about building the strength to engage the world authentically. The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego. The second half is going inward and letting go of it. Jung explained, in that first half, boundaries are how we build up our ego, our identity. In the second half, the boundaries become more internal as we deepen in self-knowledge, preparing for a subtler balance. But if we're honest, sometimes the world punishes us for setting boundaries. Maybe you lose friends. Maybe your boss pushes back. Maybe family members guilt-trip you. But here's the paradox. The more you stand by your no, the more others start to respect you. You teach people how to treat you. If you always say yes, people assume you have no limits. When you say no, you reveal the outline of your selfhood and invite others to respect it. This rarely happens overnight. It can be lonely at first, but slowly, you attract people who value your authenticity. This is freedom, not the freedom to do as you please, but the freedom to be who you truly are. Daily life offers endless practice. Maybe start with small no's. Decline a meeting, skip a social event, let a phone call go to voicemail. Observe the discomfort, lean in. That discomfort is the old story, the people pleaser, fighting for survival. Thank it for its service, but don't let it run your life. Saying no often exposes hidden beliefs, stories from childhood, cultural myths, inherited guilt. Jung believed these moments of insight are invitations to go inside, to reflect. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes, he wrote. This act, turning the gaze inward and questioning your motives, is the real path of transformation. With time, the fruits arrive. By saying no, you preserve your energy and gain clarity on what nourishes you. You steward your life for the things and people that matter. Overwhelm lessens, burnout fades, and you find time for play, for passion, for presence. Your decisions align with your values rather than reactive guilt or fear. Each no becomes an affirmation of your true goals. Relationships also shift. Healthy boundaries bring respect, honesty, and, ironically, deeper intimacy. You're no longer connecting through obligation, but through shared choice. You relate from fullness, not emptiness, from strength, not resentment. So, how do you master the art of saying no, Jung style? First, create your inner terminos, a space for honest self-reflection. Use journaling, meditation, or quiet walks to clarify what nourishes and depletes you. Second, embrace the shadow, the guilt, fear, or anger that arises when you say no. Don't banish these feelings. Explore them. Often, what feels like guilt is really the voice of outdated expectations. Third, use your no wisely, like a sculptor chipping away what doesn't belong. Each refusal is creative. It reveals the shape of your authentic life. Finally, be patient. The world may not thank you overnight, but your inner self will. And as Jung taught, the journey is about becoming whole, aligning your yes and your no with your truest self, and from there, engaging the world with courage and clarity. If you remember nothing else from this video, hold on to this. Saying no is not rejection, it's protection. Not withdrawal, but self-respect. Not loss, but the start of true personal growth. The next time you're asked for more than you can give, don't rush to yes. Pause, breathe. Ask yourself, does this serve my authentic self? Am I acting from duty or from love? Whatever the answer, let be yours. That, Jung would say, is the beginning of wisdom, and the beginning of a life lived from the inside out. Thank you for watching. Honor your boundaries. Say yes and no on your own terms. That is the true power of selfhood and growth. If this resonated with you, please like, share, or subscribe for more explorations of mind, soul, and spirit. And remember, your no can be your greatest yes.